Hello, my name is Green, and today I'm going to show you 50 small building tricks that you can do in Minecraft. I'm always surprised how people find an inventive use for blocks in a way that they're not usually used. So with the help of the Wingcraft build team, I've put together some of my favourites. Firstly, you can make a wheelbarrow using simply a cauldron and fence gate. Next we have another wheelbarrow with a slightly different design, again the fence gate but two trapdoors. You can put an enchanting table on an anvil to make a little pedestal for you to read your books. Next we have another wheelbarrow design similar to the second one, but with slight difference with using signs, and of course a chest on the end. Next is a cool lighting technique. You can put glowstone under carpet to give your room light without the use of torches, very handy in things like caves. You can world edit this block to be just a piston head, which serves as a really nice decorative table. Next you can make an interesting basket using only trapdoors. Surround a block with trapdoors, and then world edit that same block to be 0 in the middle. Next up, interestingly, you can put 2 item frames on the same block to create a little masterpiece of your own creation. You can create patterns using signs by placing them under carpets. Using item frames again, you can create a torch holder by using a half slab. Probably the most inventive chair yet, using trapdoor and a door. Don't use it like that. You can make another chair. You can make a makeshift statue of a wither by using anvil and hoppers and of course wither heads. Next up, you can make a barrel using various items. And next you can... Okay, I'm not going to kid myself, it doesn't really look like a polar bear, but if you want to pretend you've got a polar bear, go ahead. I suppose you could stick it in front of a fire and tell everyone you killed it. Moving on, we have possibly the most common and simple design for a chair ever, but the one after is slightly bigger using wooden stairs and wooden blocks. Coming up next is something quite interesting. It's a parasol made using beds. It has an interesting shape and texture. Not everyone's liking, or perhaps you would prefer the next one, which is a parasol using string or tripwire and carpet on the top. Next, you can get a simple nether effect by adding ender chests under carpets. I'm not sure where you would use this, but it's a handy little tip. Next are more designs for torch holders using item frames such as carpet and anvil. Iron pressure plates and pots make really good plates and cups to decorate your tables. Now, I'm sure everyone watching this video knows this little trick, and I'd be disappointed if you didn't. If you walk through a painting with signs on the side, it makes a nice little secret room. Next up, we have a fire pit, but it is not lit, using coal ore. Quite an interesting design. Beacons can make really good lampposts, but expensive. You can make a basic fridge by adding 2 iron blocks with an iron door on. Next up, you can world edit the blocks behind a ladder to make it freestanding. You can add colour to your levers using item frames, levers that do absolutely nothing. You can make bunk beds by putting carpet on top of half slabs. You can add item frames with fish on them to some cobwebs to make it look like you've got a fishing net. A simple but effective way of making a table. Possibly my favourite one of all of them, it's an old style toilet using a dropper anvil and of course a water well up the top. Droppers make interesting torture weapons, as this guy clearly found out. Next up, you can use these specific blocks with their ID in your builds. They're not listed on the creative inventory, and they make very nice decorative blocks. Next up, you can make an interesting flower pot using trapdoors. Next we move on to the modern toilet using quartz and a trapdoor. You can make internal fake plants by adding leaves on a fence, and using the pot technique used earlier. You can make your bookshelves look a little more interesting by adding half slabs. You can use half slabs as effective shelves. Next up, we have another shelf technique, but using stairs as well as slabs. And then a final shelf technique where you're just using stairs, all of which work. You can add cobblestone wall as a funnel on your furnace to make it look like a chimney. You can create scarecrows using various fence blocks and pumpkins. I'm not sure why you would ever want this, but you can add lava under a carpet to simulate this lava sound in your house. You can make a furnace using brick and a fire. You can make simple crates by adding signs around blocks of wood. You can add rails over piles of logs to make it look like they're being stored. I'm not sure what this is. I'm going to go with writing desk or toilet. Next up is a pig hog roast. You use the quartz nether brick, and of course it's got a tail on the back. This is a wine barrel for all of you that are old enough to drink. You can add ore behind vines to make it look like they have berries on them. King-sized bed using snow as pillows and wool surrounded by wood. The next is a camp bed using carpet and snow. You can make interesting graves by using the cobble wall. And again, by using cobble stairs, you can make another shaped grave. You can add water above a block to make it look like dripping. And then on the floor, you can add lapis lazuli ore to make it look like it's dripping on the floor. You can add a swing under a big tree to give it a nice nostalgic effect. A simple flag design with cobblestone wall followed by a fence and some wool on the top. Add heads on pikes to ward off your enemies. You can make a piano using quartz blocks and fence, followed by a big chair. And lastly, you can make a cannon out of coal blocks and spruce stairs. That is all 50 designs I have to show you. I really hope you saw at least one that you hadn't thought of before and feel like using, and I bet you it's the flamingo. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Grian, and as always, if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Bye!